Hey guys, my name is Aldas, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Mick Schumacher. Now, recently in the world of Formula 1, Mick has been dominating headlines left, right, and centre, and I thought this would be the perfect opportunity for me to talk about Mick and give my opinions on him, talking about his past, where he is now, what he's doing, and also where he will fit into Formula 1 in the future. Now, don't forget, guys, if you enjoy the content and want to support the channel, then like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. You guys have been smashing it recently, and once again, we are gaining hundreds of subscribers every single day and getting close to that 20,000 subscriber mark. So thank you so much, and yeah, I just really appreciate it, guys. And also check out my social medias, Instagram and Twitter will be above. But yeah, let's get into it. Now, I'm going to start this video looking sort of back a little bit at where Mick Schumacher started in terms of his Formula racing career. Now, he started his career in 2015 in Formula 4, and in his maiden season, he managed to finish in 10th. The year after that, staying on in Formula 4, but now with the Prema team, he had a much better season and finished in 2nd place. Now, for 2017, he graduated up to Formula 3, again with the Prema team, and then once again did not have a stunning sort of debut season in Formula 3, and ended up finishing in 12th place in 2017. However, in 2018, which is of course the Formula 3 season that has just gone last year, he was the Formula 3 champion for 2018. Now, really for Mick Schumacher, the 2018 Formula 3 championship really will be remembered for his late season push and that incredible sort of turn of form right at the end when it really counted the most. It all really started in Germany at the Nürburgring. He won all 3 races that weekend, and then the next 6 races, he got 2 wins, 3 second places, and only finished once off the podium. So just a fantastic end to the season, and like I said, he did win the championship ahead of Dan Ticktum. Now, 2019 would be another big jump up for Mick Schumacher. He would now be promoted up to Formula 2, again racing with the Prema team in his rookie season. Not only that, but he would also join the Ferrari Drivers Academy. So a very big 2019, and very, as you can obviously imagine, very hotly anticipated how he will do in his rookie season in Formula 2. Now, of course, the Formula 2 season for 2019 has already begun. We've already seen the first round of the championship, and of course we got to see Mick Schumacher on his debut in Formula 2. Now, he had a strong weekend in Bahrain. He scored points in both the races on Saturday and Sunday, and also barely made any mistakes. So a solid weekend, but nothing explosive, nothing like that we saw from Lando Norris or Charles Leclerc. But at the same time, sometimes different drivers take different amount of times to, get used to a series and really get up to speed. And Formula 2 really is a big jump up from Formula 3, especially in terms of the tyres. But he did a good job nonetheless. But the big news really before the 2019 Formula 2 season even started was that Mick Schumacher was going to test for Ferrari at the Bahrain test, which was happening post the Bahrain Grand Prix. As you guys can imagine, the name Schumacher and Ferrari are synonymous with Formula 1 history, and this very quickly got a lot of attention, as you can imagine, as anything really Mick does. When you have the name Schumacher, it's not very easy, to try and stay out of the limelight. So yeah, it definitely got a lot of attention, and a lot of people were anticipated. A lot of people were excited. As myself, I never grew up watching Michael Schumacher, but the name Schumacher and Ferrari are just so legendary. It was definitely going to be just an incredible sight nonetheless. And also good, of course, point for Ferrari to really examine Mick, see what he's like, because, these tests, they're not a shootout to see whether you're going to get a Formula 1 seat or not. That's not what they are. They are still, a development test, of course, for Ferrari for 2019. They're trying to win a championship, so it's not just, a little session to see how a driver is doing, but also, of course, to test the 2019 car, and also for the team to actually look at Mick, how he works within the team, what kind of feedback he gives back, and really, at the end of the day, how fast and how consistent he really is. Now, despite all of the massive pressure on his shoulders and anticipation and the media coverage that this did get, he actually had a very good and solid first test with Ferrari. Actually, just the pictures, obviously, seeing his mum at the side of the track, just watching him is really kind of special, and it also does make me, miss Michael quite a lot. Just really wish that he would be able to be at the track to watch his son in a Ferrari. That had just been amazing. But nonetheless, he had a very good test. He finished 2nd on the timesheets. Now, just like in the real world of Formula 1 in testing, you cannot really take away too much from the testing times. I know it says, Schumacher 2nd and, Verstappen 1st and everything, but you can't really take too much away from the times, especially since he was actually on the quickest tyre that no one else was on. But nonetheless, he did a really good job. He set a time of 1 minute 29.976, which was the 2nd fastest, like I said, just behind Max Verstappen. But also put 56 laps down on the day. It was actually a rain hit session, so not the maximum that he would have wanted to do, but that was the 6th highest on the field. Now, after that test, not only were the team very happy with him, and honestly, they could only really say positive things about it. The media were also, of course, I think everyone was really happy after the test, especially seeing how well he actually did, not just in terms of pace, but also just the way he was. I mean, after the test, when he was speaking to the media in front of, all of the Italian media who are just literally like vultures when it comes to Ferrari. They'll take any scrap of news and just completely blow it up. He seemed really calm, really relaxed as well, which was very nice to see. Almost looking like there was no pressure on him at all. And it really does make me feel like, he's been training for this pretty much all of his life, trying to keep it low key, trying to avoid the fact that he is a Schumacher and just be Mick, the racing driver, which it was just great to see. But, you can never really run away from a name like that. But yeah, I mean, he was just so calm, and he really sort of, started to plant the seed a little bit, just saying he was so comfortable within the team and that he really enjoyed it. So, he's clearly starting to build the blocks a little bit to where he eventually wants to be in Formula 1, which is, of course, at the wheel of that Ferrari. Now, not only did Mick spend time with Ferrari, but he also spent time with some of the other drivers as well. We got to see video of him talking to Fernando Alonso, Carlos Sainz. So again, just becoming more of a prominent figure within the paddock. And of course, we've already seen him at a couple of races being at the back of that Ferrari garage. So he's really just settling in, not only in the environment of Ferrari, but also in Formula 1 in general. Now, whilst the Ferrari test was the one that got all the media attention and all the buzz, he did also test, of course, for Alfa Romeo the following day on the final day of testing and had another very impressive day. He finished with a time of 1 minute 29.998 in 6th place and completing 70 laps in total. So again, another really solid performance, and I'm absolutely sure that this will not be the last time we will see Schumacher in either a Ferrari or an Alfa Romeo this season, because I think he definitely impressed the team and he definitely impressed me. And is off to a great start with Ferrari. Now, of course, with Mick Schumacher, there is more hype than I've ever seen for a young driver. And of course, it is because his dad was Michael Schumacher, statistically the most successful driver of all time in Formula 1, 91 race wins, and of course 7 world championships. Now, as you can imagine, with a name like Schumacher, it's not going to be always the easiest time with the media. I mean, I've already mentioned this loads of times, but the amount of pressure and anticipation and the hype that is around this driver, I've never seen anything like it. And especially in this sort of media age, there were so many people online having so many different opinions. A lot of people positive, saying that they would, that they love seeing Schumacher back. They love seeing Mick beginning his career. And of course, negatives as well. People like to vent their negative opinions. And I suppose that's fine in a way. Your opinion is your opinion. Saying that he's being fast-tracked because he's a Schumacher and everything like that. And quite honestly, this guy, Mick Schumacher, who is so young, by the way, I think people forget how young he is. He's only 20 years old, is handling the pressure of being a Schumacher and being basically in the limelight and being in the spotlight, I should say, maybe is the better term for it, really well, in my opinion. I mean, he said that he wants to develop as a driver before he goes into Formula 1, and he's trying to, keep his feet on the ground whilst everyone is just hyping him up. And even Fernando Alonso, I suppose, at the same time said that as soon as he does get the chance, he should go for it. And I do agree with that, because it is so difficult to get into Formula 1. If you get a chance, you don't wait, you just go for it. And we've seen young drivers like the likes of Max Verstappen and Leclerc and even Lando Norris this season do really well. I mean, if you have the talent, age is just a number. If you have the talent, then you are quick enough. And what happens with Schumacher? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Now, in terms of Mick Schumacher, I'm actually a really big fan of his, I'm not going to lie. I'm not really the biggest Michael Schumacher fan. It's not that I don't like him, by the way. That's, nothing like that. I just never obviously really watched him. He didn't race around the time that I started watching Formula 1. So he's never the driver that I really associate myself with the most. But I do absolutely respect the records he set, the sort of driver and the sort of work ethic that he had and what he did for the sport. I mean, numbers don't lie. He is the most successful guy in the sport ever and set the sort of records that I just can't believe. Lewis Hamilton might be able to beat them, but you never know. So I have massive respect for Michael Schumacher, but I was never really the biggest Schumacher fan in terms of Michael. But in terms of Mick, I'm not going to lie, I am a big fan of his, and it's just the way he is. His character is something that I really like. Having that name, having that massive amount of anticipation, not only from the newer generation, but actually mostly from the older generation. The people that liked Michael Schumacher, they're looking at Mick and they're thinking, here we go again. Is he going to be just like his dad? And that's a massive amount of pressure to put on, such a young man. And really another thing that just really sort of a little bit annoys me is that every single time you hear, Mick Schumacher in the news, the second line immediately after that is Michael Schumacher, son of 7 times world champion. And how do you live up to that sort of hype? I mean, it's just impossible to even think about or even comprehend. And the way he's dealing with it, the fact that he doesn't do that many interviews. He keeps it low key. He just lets his driving do the talking, because he's not one of those people, as we've seen from his previous, experience in Formula 4 and Formula 3, that smashes it straight out of the park in the first season. So yes, it might take him more than one season to get up to Formula 1, but that's absolutely fine. It took him 2 seasons to, do really well and finish second in Formula 4, and then to win the 2018 Formula 3 championship. And it might, he might just not hit the ground running in Formula 2 straight away, but then maybe next season he will. I think there's just so much expectation for him now to be in Formula 1 next year, because we've seen obviously Charles Leclerc go up in 1 year, Lando Norris and George Russell, and I think people just need to give Schumacher time to develop as a driver and get that opportunity if it is given to him by Ferrari. However, if he is given the opportunity to go into Formula 1, where do I think he is most likely to go? Now, straight away, I would rule out Ferrari, because I think, the people that are saying that he's going to go there immediately in his first season, it's just ridiculous. Ferrari would never take that risk. They've only just recently started opening their doors to young drivers like Charles Leclerc, so I do not see that happening. Now, Alfa Romeo are probably the number one target for Mick Schumacher, because not only is Alfa Romeo the Ferrari B team, but he's also sort of caught quite good timing, because that lineup of Giovinazzi and Kimi Raikkonen is not one that I think is going to be for the next 2, 3 or 4 years or anything like that, because I think, Kimi Raikkonen, he could retire, at the end of this year or even the year after. And as far as Giovinazzi, he just doesn't seem to me like the type of driver that's just shoot into that team to be a long-term driver. So Mick will definitely have an opportunity there, maybe next year, maybe the year after that, you never know. But I think that is the most likely home for him if he were to make the step up to Formula 1. Of course, Haas is also an option for Mick Schumacher, having those Ferrari links, and their driver lineup is not exactly, set in stone for the coming years, but Haas do need a bit more experience than Mick Schumacher has. And of course, they also have their own young driver in Fittipaldi, so I think that is definitely the least likely option. But nonetheless, I think Mick will be in Formula 1 very, very soon, and I just think that people need to leave him alone, give him time, and stop piling on the pressure, and also stop piling on the fact that he is Michael Schumacher's son. I think he needs to start building his own legacy as Mick Schumacher, not Michael Schumacher's son or anything like that, but he needs to be his own man. So I think people do need to leave him alone a little bit, because he is a very quick driver and he has a lot of talent. I think he's proven that with the test with Ferrari and of course Alfa as well. And yeah, people I think just need to give him time, let him mature as a driver, and let the opportunities arise when they do. Like I said, I think Mick will be in Formula 1 very soon, and I personally cannot wait, because I honestly really like him and he could be a serious star of the future. But anyway, guys, there you go. That is my thoughts on Mick Schumacher. As you could probably tell, I am a big fan of his, and I think, he definitely has a very exciting future ahead of him. But what do you guys think? Do you like him? Do you not like him? What did you think of his test debut for Ferrari and Alfa Romeo? How do you think he will do in his first full season in Formula 2? Will he make it to Formula 1? And will he make it to be a Ferrari driver in the future? Comment box below, guys, and I really do hope you enjoyed the video as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That would be massively appreciated. And yeah, check out my social medias. Instagram and Twitter will be above. And thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.